A-Town down.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Classic Movie Buffet Theater. All right, now on today's episode, first of all, I want to say I'm sorry for the video being late. I know it was supposed to be out Thursday, but one thing led to another, and I didn't get it done. I wanted to have it done earlier today, but didn't get a chance to do it. It would be so much easier if I had a place, quarantined off to where I could make my own videos, but, it is what it is. All right, so on today's video, we're going to talk about a film that came out on April 15th of 1994, and it was a film that was directed by Ernest R. Dickerson. And he's directed such great films as Juice. Now, I've never seen Juice, so I don't know if it's good. I've heard a lot of stuff about it being a good film, but I've never seen it myself. And he also directed Bones with Snoop Dogg from 2001. That was an excellent horror film. Now, there's a lot of negative stuff out there about the film, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. And he also directed the 1996 film Bulletproof with Adam Sandler. And it was a good film. It was a great film. It was very funny. So the film we're going to talk about today is called Surviving the Game. And this was an excellent film, I thought. Ice-T was tremendous in this film. And he plays the character of Jack Mason. And he's also played in such films as Johnny Mnemonic with Keanu Reeves. He also played in the film Tank Girl with Lori Petty. That movie, I don't know. I kind of liked it, and I kind of didn't like it, but not a bad movie. And he also played in the film Ricochet with Denzel Washington, and John Lithgow was the villain in that film. That was an excellent film. That was a really good film. I'm going to have that film on the channel one of these days. That was a really good film. And the film also stars Rutger Hauer, who plays the character of Thomas Burns. And he's also played in such films as Nighthawk with Sylvester Stallone and Billy Dee Williams. And he also played in the film Blind Fury, which was a great film. He was a blind samurai, and it had a lot of action in it, a lot of swordplay. It was a great film. And he also played in Batman Begins. That was a great film. I think that was the start of the James Nolan or whatever. I think that's what his name was. It was the start of his trilogy of the Batman films. All three of those films in that trilogy were tremendous. I loved them all. And the film also stars the great Gary Busey, who plays the character of Doc Hawkins. And he's also played in such films as Black Sheep, and that was with Chris Farley. Fantastic comedy film. Love Chris Farley to death. Rest in peace. And he also played in the film Drop Zone with Wesley Snipes. Another great film with Yancey Butler was in that film with him. And he also played in the great Point Break with Keanu Reeves. I have not seen the remake. I don't like watching remakes very much because I'm afraid most of the time they do ruin the original film. And I don't know that I want Point Break ruined for me. But if it is a good film, leave a note down in the comment section below and let me know if it was worth a watch. All right, so the plot for this film is a homeless man is hired as a survival guide for a group of wealthy businessmen on a hunting trip in the mountains, unaware that they are killers who hunt humans for sport and that he is their new prey. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and check out the trailer for 1994's Surviving the Game. Here we go.
Why would you want to kill yourself? Maybe I like the idea of choosing when I die instead of having somebody else choose for me. If someone offered you a good job, would you be interested? What kind of job are you talking about? We need someone to help us with our hunts out in the wilderness.
Are you sure about this one?
Oh, I'm sure.
Has he got courage?
Gentlemen, I would like you to meet our new hunting guide, Mason.
Here's a toast to the hunters and a prayer for the hunted. The hunt begins now.
Let your game begin! Just let me get the door for you. Go!
We're not really gonna hunt him, are we?
He's nothing. He's less than nothing.
Come on, Mason!
I won't take any part in this.
I want you!
Think. If you make it to civilization, you live. If you don't, maybe God will have mercy. I think he's gone back to the cabin.
None of them has ever done that before.
Mr. Mason!
What's that smell?
Everybody out of the cabin!
I like not being rare.
Try well done, bitch.
Jack Mason knows he's going to die someday.
Damn, I wish I'd never started smoking.
But today, he's not in the mood.
This is where it gets interesting.
Never underestimate
Come on, Mason!
a man who has nothing to lose. Rutger Hauer, Charles Dutton, Gary Busey, F. Murray Abraham, William McNamara, and Ice-T. Surviving the Game.
Bang!
Directed by Ernest Dickerson.
All right, that was the trailer for Surviving the Game. This movie, unfortunately, was released 5 months after the similarly themed and much bigger budgeted Hard Target with Jean-Claude Van Damme. So it went mostly ignored at the theaters when it came out. It did, however, get the odd bit of praise from a few critics, such as Gene Siskel. Ice-T does a fantastic job in the lead role, bringing a hard-edged cynicism with an undercurrent of repressed pain and sadness that made his will to continue living quite the challenge. The film's villains are comprised of a veritable who's who of actors such as Rutger Hauer, John C. McGinley, Charles S. Dutton, and even F. Murray Abraham, playing the roles with intensity and enthusiasm to spare. Surviving the Game is an effective and exciting chase movie that should truly not be missed. I have seen this movie 3 or 4 times, and I enjoy it. Even though, like I said, it came out right about the time as Hard Target, and Hard Target did have a bigger budget, and it had a bigger named action star behind, the lead role in that film in Jean-Claude Van Damme. But still, this was a great film. If you like those types of movies, this movie is the one for you. The one-liners, there's some one-liners in there that are great. Gary Busey plays a psychotic guy better than anybody else, just about. So he's great in this film. Rutger Hauer is also fantastic in this film as one of the bad guys. In my opinion, I would have liked to have seen a different, a different order to the death scenes in this film. I think some of the characters, some of the villains should have lasted longer than others. But still a very, very good film nonetheless. So now we're going to get into the Classic Movie Buffet Theater dessert, as I like to call it. And we're going to jump into some of the trivia for the film. Let's see, what do we got here? All right, according to Rutger Hauer, Gary Busey wrote his entire dinner monologue about the origin of the scar himself. Now, if you watch this film, Gary Busey is seen with a scar, and during the dinner scene before the hunt the next day, when they have the big feast, he tells the story of how he got that scar. So apparently, he wrote that whole story himself, and it is quite the story, let me tell you. But it's a story that can only be told through the eyes and out the mouth of the great Gary Busey. So that point in that film, if you watch this film, pay attention to that because it is well delivered and well written. Let's see, what else do we have here? No sets or sound stages were used. The entire film was shot in real locations. I don't know how many times they do that. I'd say it's quite a lot more than what we know of, but that is so cool to be able to film it in a live location where you don't have, the have to build the sets and go through all that stuff. This was a great film for that. I'm trying to fight something. Sorry, I apologize. Um, the landing strip and cabin seen in the movie are at Lake Wenatchee State Airport in Washington. The cabin has since been torn down and replaced with larger buildings a few yards to the southeast. Um, I always like to see I would always like to visit some of the sets or some of the live locations where these films have been made, and that kind of ruins that idea for me when they have to tear something down. I hate to hear that. This is one of the numerous movies based on the short story The Most Dangerous Game, written by Richard Connell, first published in 1924. The first movie based on the story was The Most Dangerous Game in 1932, starring Fay Wray, Joel McCrea, and Leslie Banks. Now, I have not seen the original. I kind of want to go check that one out. Of course, it's going to be black and white because it's 1932, which is, better that way. A lot of the black and white movies that they've colorized, they just don't look right to me. I'd rather watch the original black and white, the way it was made, and the way it was intended to see. But I do want to check that out. Rapper Snoop Dogg is a fan of this movie and later worked with Dickerson in the movie Bones. Now, like I said, Bones was a great horror film. Um, it's not going to win any awards by any means necessary, but still an excellent film to check out if you're a fan of Snoop Dogg. And I know a lot of people are. The derelict land where Jack Mason, lives in the old camper van is now a Bank of America parking lot. Hooray for productivity. uh, the same year this movie was released, Ice-T's metal band Body Count recorded an unrelated song with the title Surviving the Game, which appeared on their second album, Born Dead. Now, I've never heard Ice-T's metal band, but I bet they're phenomenal, considering how good of a rapper Ice-T was and an actor. He's a great actor. A lot of you have probably seen him on the TV series that he plays in, and he's great in that. So, pretty sure his band does pretty good too. The final establishing shot of Seattle 3 days later is actually the Philadelphia skyline as seen from the west. Now, what it means by that is at the end of the film, once Jack Mason gets back to the city, to civilization, that's 3 days after everything that's happened that he makes it back. And then it shows a scene there at the end. Stephen Lambert, who plays the first trophy hunted in the film, was also the stuntman for this film. Now, that's pretty cool to actually be able to get credit outside of being a stuntman and actually playing a role in a film, and be seen. Because a lot of times, you can't. Sometimes you can tell the difference between the stuntman and the actual actor. Sometimes you can't. But it's good that they gave him the opportunity to play an actual role in the film as himself. John C. McGinley and Gary Busey previously appeared in Point Break from 1991, and William McNamara and Gary Busey later appeared in the film Chasers in 1994. Chasers was an excellent film. I enjoyed it. I like just about anything that Gary Busey plays in, pretty much, with the exception of The Ginger Dead Man. Those movies are too far out there for me to to really comment and say they're great films, because they're really not. They're hilarious for the most part, but also stupid. And that's just my opinion on it. But they are stupid. But they are funny too. So, there you go. But Surviving the Game is an excellent film. Ice-T all the characters in this film do an incredible job on this film. It's a film that is very much so worth a watch if you have not seen it before. And if you have seen it before, go back and watch it again. Relive a classic. That's the whole purpose of me doing these things, is to get people that have not seen these films before to go back and watch them and come up with their own idea of what the film, does for them. If they like it, if they don't, at least they can say they've watched it. And if you have seen it before, go back and revisit it and enjoy it all over again like you did the first time you watched it. So I'm going to end the video here with that, kind of a short video for today. And I know I was late getting this video out, and I do apologize for that. But there will be a Mikey's Saturday Nightmares tomorrow on schedule. I'm promising you that right now. Even if I have to film it again, if I have to film it tonight and have it put out tomorrow, I will do so. Just to make sure it gets out on time. I do apologize for, being late with this video. It does happen sometimes, and I hate it so much when I'm late putting stuff out. But thank you guys for tuning in and watching these videos as I do get them put out. Late or not, some of you still tune in and watch them, and I greatly appreciate that. So, like I said, I'm going to end the video here. Thank you all so much for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And put a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment in the comment section down below whether this was a film that you've watched, what you thought of it. If you haven't watched it and you go and watch it, leave a comment after you watch it. Let me know what you think of it. All right. So, that being said, I will see you guys for Mikey's Saturday Nightmares. Until then, bye-bye.